Really? Bitrate is wrong. You tell me that only after I start streaming, huh? Should be only a moment. Ah, Ilya. Welcome back. I'm making the Twitter post right now. I forgot to do that a moment ago. Amidst my preparations, welcome back. Have you ever been to a Noita stream before? Have you played it? Or know anything about the game? We are making our last minute preparations. Get that set up, swap that over there. Well, Noita's a very interesting game. It's a roguelite, meaning that every time you die, it generates a completely new landscape. The entire game world changes every single time you die, so you don't really have a level layout to remember. On top of that, every single pixel in this game is simulated with its own special physics. This leads to a very interesting sandboxy experience. I think that's everything ready to go. Got all the tweets out. And everything's ready to begin. Let's rock. Kayla, welcome. Now let's see here. Continue. And I don't hear anything. Are you serious? Hold on. I thought I had everything prepared. Well, I'll just get that done in the background while I make my formal introduction. A few minutes late. Salutations, class, and welcome back. It's another Noita stream, as what we've been doing every Monday night. Seems we've moved a bit away from fighting games for the time being. And we might go ahead and branch out to a number of other game options. We do still have a return to Nicktoons All-Star Brawl this weekend on Friday, and a return to working on our Halo CE solo playthrough on Legendary for Saturday. Starting next week, we might go ahead and raise a few more streams on this channel. Might be trying to do a couple different games. I would like to look into more weird indie RPGs in the vein of Undertale, since, heck, those are the most fun streams I've had in a while. I'll also look to trying to complete Halo 2 and or possibly 3 before the release of Halo Infinite, moving towards December. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the pixels. Now, last we left off, I think we were in the middle of a run. Right here. Looks like we have invisibility. We've done something with a fungal shift I already can't remember. Greed and electricity. Let's go ahead and look at our wands so we don't end up murdering ourselves. Black hole is good, teleport bolt is good, our primary attacking wand. Ah! Hasn't always cast teleport. Well, so long as we can get this thing to fire quickly, it will do a lot of work for us. The third very important game mechanic, Ilya, is we have wands and spell components we can craft together. So we have a lot of tools we get to customize any which way we want. As well as the landscape we can customize any way we want, usually through destroying it. Ah, we're in the hissy base already. The electricity perk will be kind of a high-risk, high-reward here. There is a lot of steel you can see surrounding us in the hissy base, which, while we have the electric perk activating, will end up shocking anyone around us, even through the walls themselves. This does have some potentially nasty side effects, such as possibly setting off some explosives when we aren't ready for them. Really? I didn't take damage just there, did I? Did I skip the heart? Ah, drat. We wanted to not trigger that. I'll go back and check. We do have other places that we can still edit. Oh, right. The red curse particles, we want to avoid those. Ah, Z, welcome. Getting back to Noita today, I suppose we'll have to wait for those sparks to dissipate. Really hope it wasn't that propane tank that hurt us. There's a wand over there, so let's go ahead and try to dig our way over here and hope that no one takes it. Homing explosive crystals. There's a way we can make this one work. We might be able to use this for spell storage later. Well, I suppose I'll take it. Don't need to go back questing for that health pickup then, since we got that, but I do want to make sure that we don't have an extra health just lying around. We do. Good news is we can come back for that if we have too many injuries we suffer. We are also simulcasting to Twitch, as always, with this game and Dead Cells. So if you'd like to make some votes onto how to harass your professor, go ahead and head over to the Twitch channel and you will be able to vote for the votes that show up in the bottom right. Looks like sometimes they are toggling over to the left side of the screen. That's odd. How are we getting around here? Well, with the teleport wand, obviously. James, welcome. Always glad to see you. Look, it's your favorite. Or maybe not. You did show up here first for the Noita. So the good news is our teleport shots here allow us to be less than accurate. We can only be mildly half accurate in order to be good. Seem to really like this game. It's I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I've been hopelessly addicted to this game for the past 2 months. Ever since I started playing it on stream, I've pretty much only been playing this off stream. I've neglected labbing the fighting games that I should have in the meantime, which means that whenever we do have another Melty Blood stream, I'm not going to be any better than I've been before. I will admit, this is personally kind of a pet of mine. Even though it does get me less views than, say, my fighting game streams, it's one that I consistently enjoy more. Although I should be practicing Melty Blood quite a bit off-stream, as I'd like to do a lot more of that. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, though, might be on the back burner for a while, aside from the tournament that we have lined up this weekend. Outside of that, probably not much going on with that game. There we go. I wonder why the speed bonus is only occasionally toggling on that wand. Plus, another thing is this game does have a lot more potential for viewer interaction given the Twitch votes, although for the most part those are usually a lot more interesting if we have a larger set of votes going on with them. Otherwise, I usually just have 1 or 2 students that are trying to be a bit benevolent to make these runs work, which might be our best chance to actually having some success in this game. Although, as with fighting games, playing this game off-stream has allowed me to get a lot better at focusing on it. And I have had a couple of successful runs, which hopefully that bit of analysis and planning will help me for our on-stream games. I play this, well, probably 6 hours a day on any day that I have free offline, and I only have oh so much time to actually stream it. Unless in the future I become a Noita-only streamer streaming this for 8 solid hours a day. Huh. We cover the place in blood, we'll be able to electrify our enemies quite well. Although now we're on low health, which we will need to focus on and be careful about it. If I'm not having fun, then what's the point? There's some potential investments to be made. There are some games that I would be willing to, or, well, hold on, how do I rephrase this? Was there ever a case like that? Not so much so far. I will admit, I do have a love-hate relationship with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Melty Blood. I do wish I was better at both of those games, and as for Nicktoons, I wasn't enjoying the streams that much, although the tournament itself, despite the fact that I went 0-2 the entire time. Oh, good lord. Despite the fact that I went 0-2, I actually had quite a bit of fun with the tournament stream. I enjoyed that a bit more than the regular Nicktoons Brawl, but I suppose one big issue with that, I'm not picking up that wand. The biggest issue with that is, oh, they're indestructible too. Great. The issue I have with that is probably due to the technical difficulties. It was on release day when I played Nicktoons All-Star Brawl. It might have been before you showed up to the channel. I believe you are a recent arrival on the streams here. Oh boy. You know what? We can just sit here and vibe. Once they come down here and touch the gold, well, they get electrified. Easy. I did want to enjoy that game more, but I think the issue I had was due to the technical difficulties of it. The netcode both in Melty Blood and Nicktoons All-Star Brawl is less than stellar, is a gentle way to put it. I think the dropped connections actually worried me more than not knowing what I was doing in the game itself. Granted, being a bit better at the game would make it a bit easier for me to know what I'm doing. And knowing what I'm doing usually helps me enjoy a game more. Oh boy. It's gonna freeze us. And that's going to explode us, because the bolt energy orbs that we had were all explosive projectiles. Forget it, the frame rate was absolutely dying there. Darn. That one was starting up to be a good run. We'll have a better one soon. Unfortunately, a game of this caliber, especially with you seeing my frame rate suffer, hopefully the stream frame rate isn't suffering. Twitch looks good. What about YouTube? What does YouTube say? YouTube says playback error. Let me refresh that because it never works the first time. Great, Bouncy Ball, one of the worst spells to start with. Frame rate looks good there. Everything seems excellent so far. As you'd expect of someone with the namesake Turing, in other words, a computer scientist, a programmer. One of my biggest hang-ups is technical difficulties. Having a malfunctioning stream or a malfunctioning game, no matter how hard or unfair it is, Noita, I don't really enjoy it if the game itself isn't functioning in the first place. So that might have been more of my stress, or the stress causer for when I was playing Nicktoons All-Star Brawl. As well as Melty Blood, the netcode there isn't perfect. Strive, however, from day one has generally been good once I actually connect to the servers. I did find that for a long time, I was still playing through a VPN, so anyone who encountered Xander during those days, my sincerest of apologies. After the mod Totsugeki was released for Strive, though, I've had an absolutely wonderful time with it. In fact, I might even go ahead and turn around and say, hey, another Strive stream on Sundays, since that was a habit I formerly kept, but recently got rid of. I'd like to try to change some of the stuff on the stream a little bit. Adopting a different schedule can introduce you to a new viewer base. How can I buff my frame rate here? This game keeps dying on me. Doesn't die nearly as quickly when I am not streaming. Indeed, rip. What do we got? I attract projectiles. Well, this'll be a problem. Although, with the bouncy balls, maybe not so much. We can't hurt ourselves after all. And with the multiple bounces, it might have a lot of different walls to actually bounce off of. And put the hurt on someone. Go ahead and get my atom-shaped field of electrons. See what we can hurt with them. You know, if we do get an orbiting or boomerang effect with an everlasting spell in the future, might be a good thing to try. We could try to make some sort of a wand that... oh dear. This game isn't co-op, but I have found a sort of parallel play mod. I haven't installed it, but for what I know, I think it lets you see, sort of like in Dark Souls, ghosts of other Noitas in the area, or those that are experiencing things in similar parts of the world. I might give that a try actually sometime soon. Although a game that simulates the physics of every single pixel, you will see my frame rate drop many times, although half of that is going to be trying to run the face capture software alongside the actual stream itself. I really don't think it's possible to simulate this game across multiple computers with a connection unless you have, well, both host and guest being absolute supercomputers you'd only find in a university. That is an extra health pickup, we will need that. Our strategy for the most part is beelining to the right so we can pick up this emerald tablet. As I mentioned, this game oh. Is that ambrosia? This game simulates every pixel, sort of has its own physics. You'll see that fire burns wood, slime itself is a liquid, and will have liquid physics to go with it. So, with the thousands upon thousands, heck, I think actually it would come out to... nah, it would only be about a few thousand pixels on screen at once. Trying to simulate that across two computers which may not even be deterministic, that's bound to not work. There might be potential in the future for a game like this with couch co-op, local co-op. Where'd all that other ambrosia drain? That's weird. Is it down here? Interesting. I'll go ahead and give that Noita Together mod a lookup, although don't have your expectations at their highest. For what I know, it's probably similar to that original Skyrim multiplayer mod where it might have ghosts of other players and then you can talk to each other, but very limited or no interaction at all. The pink stuff is slime. It slows me down and otherwise just works as water, just a lot slower. I wanted to get that out so that I could have an empty bottle to put something else in. Ilya tried to go to my Twitch, but YouTube is easier. Hey, that's fine. We don't need any votes whatsoever. In that case, we leave it up to RNG in the roguelike spirit. This hole means there's probably been a worm here, right? Couple of holes dug out, not by myself. If you do want to interact, though, see, there is always the Twitch option. You can go ahead and torture or give me boons. How did I get ambrosia in there? Darn. You can also mix various liquids, given that everything has physics of its own to present. So, toxic sludge, which we very obviously don't like. We don't like things that are glowing green and capable of poisoning us. If you pour a bit of water in there, it actually dilutes it. Let me make that interact a bit more, shoot it. You can see it a bit easier over here, but, oh well, now it's burning off. There. Now it's safe to stand in. Anything that's a bright, glowing Disney green... Uh-oh. Well, speaking of potions... Oh, it's just the one? Better than one pheromone, I guess. Yeah. You see all that liquid simulation? That's not going to work with two computers trying to communicate constantly. If this game was entirely deterministic, meaning events in A always lead to events in B, it might be easier to simulate pixels like that. In other words, you wouldn't have to communicate how the world interactions go so much as having the same starting point on both computers, and if they are entirely deterministic, then it might be easier to just have both computers calculate the terrain changes separately. But I don't think that's gonna work. I don't know if it was with this game or some other games that were similar to it, but there was one game that I know that tried to simulate a lot of its pixel physics using the processing power of your graphics card instead of your CPU. Your graphics card actually has an exceptional amount of processing power to it. Although different graphics cards actually will have different calculations. So even then the experience isn't entirely the same between computers. That's actually a really, really funny side effect of certain bits of game development that try to simulate too much detail. There are slight differences, ever so slight differences, in calculations between different CPUs. And if you try to run with too many decimals, you will actually get a different output from the same conditions. So try to work with integers or very small decimal counts as much as possible. Now, for the most part, we are looking to try to pick up as much gold as we can, or a couple of good items. Looks like we don't have... Ooh, all-seeing eye, that's important. Let's see, what can we sacrifice? We can probably get rid of the bouncy ball wand. That's significantly less useful than anything else we'd be picking up. We want to hover over that fire because it will ignite us. Another thing, I haven't done too much with it yet on the stream, but you do have otherwise. Ah! Perfect chance to demonstrate, even though we could just move that minecart out of the way. There are explosives, such as this bomb, that we can use to modify the terrain. Now, with the way this game is set up, there's not that much of an opportunity for you to build terrain, but destruction is more what this game focuses on, in order to break down a couple of walls and find some secrets. Go ahead and cast that, so you have a bit of a bit. Oh, boy. Seems the fire already got to the tank of oil here. Or something did. Wonder how all that got out. I'd say, yeah, in terms of my enjoyment to its ability to draw an audience, this is definitely my favorite game. I probably like Strive more in the end, but this game doesn't really pull in too many new viewers, although it does seem to have an exceptional ability to hold people who are already watching. Maybe with a bit more responsible self-promotion, I might go ahead and try to see in the Noita Discord or on the subreddit if people would like to see more streams. I am in the Noita subreddit, or the Noita Discord on my offline account, my non-streaming related one. And there's basically always a stream running in there, so I haven't yet seen any location to do self-promotion. Looks like they might only allow... Hold on, let's take a look. Nothing useful in there at all. Looks like they might only allow actual live streams concurrently going on in the server, rather than self-promotion elsewhere. I'll take another look. But, if we could draw a bit more of an audience from there, from people who are expecting Noita, and want to watch Noita specifically, I would wager that VTubers playing Noita, oh boy. They're not invisible, I can see them. Just barely. VTubers playing Noita is, I imagine, a very, very thin pool to draw from. What's my Discord? Hold on. I might go ahead and... You know, we are building up a bit more of a viewer base lately, so I might go ahead and actually set up the official Xander Discord server. But for now, open that up, get that tag, and it's currently set to streamer mode, so it doesn't look like it's going to be giving me what I'm wanting. Yeah. I might go ahead and... I'll let off on actually posting my Discord ID for now, but we might go ahead and set up a server sometime. You know what, let's set that a goal. Have it done within a week. Set up the official Xander Discord server. Welcome back, James. Dinner and a show. Well, seems everyone was there and ready to kill me. That's why we need to be a bit more apprehensive and cautious about our approach, but that run wasn't setting up very well. Yeah, I'll go ahead and set up a Discord server soon. I will also be focusing less on the actual streaming instead of running 4 or 5 streams a week that all run for about 4 hours each. I think I'll go ahead and focus on trying to do 3 streams, 2 hours, and work on actual stream assets themselves. Actual intro card, outro card, all the professional stuff, and get things ready for a bit more self-promotion. For the first few months, I was mostly just testing if I would even like doing this at all. Initially, not so much, but once I got better at it, better at keeping up the voice and getting a bit better sleep, as well as having more viewers, I've come to like it a bit more. There is the very important thing to know of don't let your viewer count actually get you down. But there is another side to that coin in the fact that one of the most important parts of a stream is viewer engagement, actually being able to talk to your audience. Talking when there's no one there isn't impossible, but it's not really going to invite anyone in. Especially given YouTube's usual stream delay, which, actually let's check that right now. Given YouTube's usual stream delay, it is currently set to ultra-low latency, and from my end, looks like the stream's doing quite wonderfully. I've had a number of times in the past where I go ahead and try to respond to someone randomly showing up in chat, and with YouTube's much greater stream delay, it wouldn't actually show up on stream until about a minute or two later. I do work outside of streaming, and that's actually why I haven't been able to get enough of this stuff done. One thing that's a bit of an issue for me is I have a bit of a DIY complex. Although I don't have too much pride to force myself to draw my own avatar and rig it myself, which, by the way, is a goal in the future. I did try to tell myself I'd at least try to pick up some of the basics of graphic design and do my own intro and outro card, which, 4 months later, still has not yet happened. Although I have more of a reason to focus on it now. Projectiles become bouncy per a time. This helps us. There might come a time soon that I actually vacation off of work and get a bit more time in to both have a large streaming week with lots of activity and a lot of self-promotion. How old am I? I'll be honest, I forget at this point. It's either 26 or 27. After you get to drinking age, that's really the last important milestone before, say, decades. Wish I started this a bit earlier. That might be the only question I'd actually answer in terms of personal information. As well as the other one being the big answer of where are you from, and the closest answer I'll give to that is Texas. Which leaves plenty of room open for interpretation. It's half procrastination and half artist's block, actually. I used to do a lot of drawing when I was in high school, but ever since then, so many years ago, not so much. One of my issues was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do for an intro card, so as to not make myself necessarily work too hard and doing some... It's the case of striking a balance between doing something very high effort that would be outside my ability, or something simple and clean that wouldn't have enough personality to it. James, don't let the view count get you down, don't let the numbers turn your smile into a frown. Firelord Toph, Avatar the live streamer. It's been a long time since I've watched Avatar. I actually don't remember much of that show at all. Having a small audience actually doesn't upset me so much. It does give a lot more room for personal interaction. It lets me go on long tirades answering everyone's questions while still having a chance to answer everyone's questions. And I don't mind a small viewer count so much as I'd like to at least try to get a little bit of growth in. It would be better for me to do a bit more self-promotion, say getting some clips, which I have plenty of them, to draw from, and posting them in social media, as well as engaging in social media a bit more. Those of you who are following my Twitter will know that I don't really post anything outside of stream notifications. So, while I lighten up on the stream schedule itself, I'll be trying to do more work outside of the streams. You're an animator, but your work is not good. From someone who has experience running animation, my utmost respect for anyone can do it well, because I think that it... You know, I'll go out on a limb and say it, and I will argue for it. I think animation is the single most difficult art form. Strong, welcome. Glad to see you. Music might come in second, but there's enough rules that you can actually kind of cheat your way through music pretty well. Animation's just about impossible to cheat. Unless you're, say, maybe running some cheat 2D by rotoscoping 3D models and stuff like that. As you'd expect, and as I've mentioned a couple times, I do have an interest in game development and have tried every aspect of the design process, including animation. I've done a lot of custom fighting game sort of work. Yeah, animation isn't hard, just tedious. I'd say that actually might be where a lot of the issue comes for me. Sometimes I try to be a little impatient or efficient. I like trying to get work done quickly, but animation is something you absolutely cannot rush. And that's where I end up with a lot of pitfalls. In trying to design my own animation stuff for custom fighting game stuff and practice otherwise, it ends up being a bit sloppy because I'm not patient enough with it. A cloud of oil spawns on you. How have you been doing, by the way, Strong? Been seeing you show up a lot more frequently. Glad to see you. Actually, glad to see such a huge viewer base on a stream today. Largest viewer count I've had in a while, and I think actually historically altogether, except for maybe on Gold Lewis's release day in Strive. And then there was another time I actually did receive a Noita raid. Although we don't have anyone on Twitch right now. This guy is very dangerous. What we want to try to do is see if we can lure him over here and get him covered in liquids. We are cornering ourselves, but he doesn't have much of an opportunity to follow us without potentially hurting himself. And he's smart, he's not going to chase after us. We'll wait for that to burn away. Ah, animation's so fun though. I will be trying to get back to it. I mentioned that... What exploded? I wasn't looking at my screen. I did mention the DIY complex and how I'm wanting to try to get some stuff done for this channel. That would include potentially some video editing or shitposts, memes, so on and so forth, that would require a bit of editing and animation experience on my end. Everyone says I'm a fast learner, so shouldn't be too rough to get that started. Twitch is dying, YouTube is the future. I am actually hoping for YouTube to pick up where Twitch has left off. There doesn't seem to be nearly as much of an issue with it recently, but about 2 months back, I think anyone who was focusing on Twitch did see basically all of the VTubers getting raided by bots. There we go. Guy made out of fire is obviously weak to being drenched in water. I think YouTube as a streaming platform does have a lot of potential. I think it's going to be a lot better at getting recommendations out there, as well as being a lot more compatible with saving VODs. Let's go ahead and run on to the next level. There, 6 health. Very little left, but so long as we make it here, we're safe. Since when was Twitch dying? What happened? Well, Twitch is dying according to Z here. I wouldn't say it's dying, but it's definitely having a bit of a fall from grace. One issue with a lot of other VTubers is... let's go ahead and pick Oil Blood. A lot of other VTubers are currently having to deal with bot raids, which is very, very, very damaging to, 1, your psyche, and 2, actually picking up any sort of a presence. Go ahead and combine these 2 spells. As a quick diversion, I'm going to talk about the game itself here. So, for the viewers in our chat who are not as familiar with Noita, we are going to combine these spells with our wand crafting system. This is a spark bolt with a trigger, which is our standard projectile. Pretty much the most basic spell as spells can be. Little purple bullet, nothing much going on here. But it has a trigger effect, which means that it casts the next spell in line once it hits something. The chainsaw here does an exceptional amount of damage, and actually, normally you're supposed to use it by itself, where it is a short-ranged but very powerful attack. But it does do a lot of damage to make up for the fact that it has such short range. If we put that on a trigger, that means when we fire our spark bolt, it will cast a chainsaw where it hits. You'll see right here, with me firing my spark bolt, it only creates a little purple spark when it hits a wall. Adding the chainsaw at the end of the trigger, you will see the yellow flash there. That is the chainsaw activating. That will lead us to do a lot more damage as the chainsaw hits something once the spark bolt makes its impact. Ilya, love working on animations, and even some people telling you your work is good, but more people you know tell it's not. If you do have anything to show, I would love to take a look at it. I absolutely love seeing work from my viewers. Actually, that was one of the big things that I wanted to eventually do. Once I do have more skills under my belt, I do want to run some teaching streams. I could probably do a programming stream even right now, but I don't know what I'd demonstrate with it. One thing I do plan for the future is trying to be able to, for people who don't have much of a direction, I would like to see viewers producing content of their own volition. Be it their own drawings, and animations, sound, whatever. Or programming. Anything. Working on something is one of the best ways to actually cheer yourself up, I found. That's another reason why I followed James on his Twitter, because he draws the absolute cutest stuff. Go ahead and take a look at him. How can you show me? If it's something you don't want to show off to everyone else, you can look at my Twitter and go ahead and DM that to me, if you are on Twitter. Otherwise, if you have any place that you can upload them, you can upload them to the stream right here, and I will take a look at them, heck, right now or even outside of the stream. But that's depending on who you want to show your work to. Twitter link is going up right there real quick. Leviathan, exactly why you're not going on a Twitch. Yes, you've been here, you've been eating. I figure you're one of the usual lurkers around here. Where's my keyboard? Okay, I was stuck. Yeah, Leviathan can vouch for that. One of the issues that Twitch has been having lately is there's been a lot of bots going around that tend to target VTubers actually more than anything else. And a lot of smaller streamers specifically, and, well, filling the chat with less than pleasant words, and having enough power behind them to get around a lot of filters. Say, Once you start banning bots, a lot of different bots will show up under different names. Even if you ban certain words, they'll use different characters that look similar, sort of akin to leet speak, or other letters from different languages, such as vowels having umlauts over them, to where you can still read the original unpleasant words they were intended as, even if they don't use the exact characters. Spells in one of your wands have been shuffled around, and still, I don't think that effect works. I've seen that vote trigger so many times, but I don't think it's ever actually done anything. Take a drink, I'm already out of breath. Congrats, Xander, you've been a chatterbox for 40 minutes. I am officially a streamer now. So, when your chat is full of an incessant and unconquerable flood of unpleasant words, your viewers can't really talk, and that's what people are here for with the streamer experience. That's why they want a face on stream, not necessarily a voice or watching a silent long play. Streaming is because people want someone to talk with, while there's something interesting in the background. For what I've heard, the bots are, for the most part, targeting smaller streamers. I think some of the larger streamers might actually have more responsible moderation teams that would be able to handle attacks like that. A lava potion. Can we bump this off? We can! Twitch isn't necessarily dying, but it is becoming under scrutiny for being very irresponsible. After there was the set of bot attacks on all the small streamers, there was an entire movement, I think sometime around beginning of September or late August, where a lot of streamers just collectively boycotted Twitch for the day. Don't think that would go anywhere. They let out their whole "we're sorry" letter, but did absolutely nothing to fix the problem as you'd expected them. Leviathan. Don't forget that most of the bots, if not all, also use Twitch plugins that allowed them to grab your IP just by clicking on their name, which you'd usually do to ban someone in chat. I think that wasn't quite the issue. I think the case was it would happen if you went to their webpage, or their user page, which I think was how you banned someone if they're not currently on your stream. Oh, is that... That's molten gold. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think it wasn't necessarily that they'd IP grab you just from clicking on them in chat, but if you tried to take actions to ban them outside of a stream. So given that it is also a flood of bots, you ban one, and there's a lot of other ones coming up. A lot of them were going by the name of plus, and then a variety of numbers placed after it. There are countermeasures of making it to where only followers can chat, or making it to where only subscribers can chat, preventing people from chatting unless they've been there a certain amount of time, but that does also kill your engagement. A lot of people want to be able to show up to a stream, especially a small stream, and be able to talk immediately. If you're blocked from talking, all you have is the choice to watch for a bit, and in the case of smaller streams without the production value to back it up, you're not gonna get anywhere. So far on YouTube, I think I've only had... I don't even think I've had bots show up on the actual live streams themselves. Only in the comments afterwards, and I've already banned the words that they use. Not that I get any comments after stream is over anyway. Leviathan, either way, not something that should even be possible within their API, absolutely. Twitch is being incredibly irresponsible about it. So yeah, Twitch is doing nothing to solve their viewer bot problem. And for that reason, I think staying with YouTube works just fine for me. Only real issue I see with YouTube is that the stream delay is a bit longer. And sometimes your stream's quality suffers a little bit. But it's easier to save VODs, and the discoverability seems to be working a lot better. I've looked at my analytics, and I have more people showing up on YouTube here than ever showing up on Twitch. We will need that health spell and School of Transmogrification. We will decline to pick that up given how we want to save our money for the wands coming up in the next Holy Mountain. First perk we picked, I didn't give enough of an explanation, Oil Blood, which, when we take damage, we will drop a bit of oil on the ground, which on its own isn't much of an effect, but it does have the supplementary side effect of making us immune to fire, which explains why we weren't hurt by the molten gold earlier. You can see you can stand right here, and it's doing absolutely no damage to us. Given how prevalent fire is in this game, with explosive spreads, having fire immunity is one of the most powerful abilities you can have. This run looks promising. Having any chainsaw on the end of a trigger spell definitely lets you crank out a lot of damage, especially if you can build a rapid fire wand with it, which we are looking. Haven't found too many of them. We are looking for a new and better wand to use. This game is interesting. It's, as I said, I've been addicted to it, and I've played off-stream about 40 hours in the past two weeks? I think so. Which might not sound like much in retrospect, but I've been playing this both on-stream and off-stream. Collectively, that might be about, let's say 50-ish hours? Not to mention the entirety of Saturday I spent just playing this game. It has a lot... Hold on. Noted. Lava is different from a lot of other substances. Even if we have fire immunity, we can still burn in lava. But molten metal and molten gold, neither can hurt us. How much is this game? I think it's the standard indie game price of $30? Oh, 20 USD. So yeah, it's very cheap, and it is incredibly expansive. You can have a single run on this game go for 100 hours. There is so much outside of what we've already explored on stream, just from what I've seen off stream, and so many more things to discover. There are so many things about this game I never would have been able to find on my own either. I will confess, I have looked up some of the background mechanics, but between a job and streaming, I don't have the time to actually play this game for... What I'd rather have is a full 100 hours every 2 weeks, so... I wish I could play this game as a full-time job. But between streaming and having a regular workload, I can't. So, unfortunately, I have looked up ahead a couple of optimized strategies to be able to do better on stream, knowing a lot more of the wand building mechanics and where we can find some secrets and interactions. I'm trying right now to head as far left of the screen as I can, but I'm not finding enough. That is a teleport wizard. He bleeds a teleport liquid, which causes him to warp around when he takes damage. Now, we have been here before. Right there is our portal into the next level, which we don't want to take there yet. We have way too much health to expend. I think it was 2 or 3 streams ago that we had, historically, our best set of runs so far. Go ahead and do a little bit of digging. In that one, we had a huge demonstration of just what this game is capable of. I'd like to try to get an incredibly functional run going again, this time without picking up orbs from parallel worlds. Oh wait, this just takes us right back here. Darn, that one didn't help us at all. Go ahead and blow that up from a distance. We ended up getting to the final boss on that run, but he had count it, 1 million HP. And he turned us into a sheep, apparently. Thank you for the heal, RNGesus. So instead, we're going to make ourselves hold back a little bit and try to get into a new game plus. To that end, we'll need to find 10 orbs of knowledge, which are 5 to 10, which they are scattered in random locations on the map. I will come back up here after we have more of a digging chance. Doesn't look like there's too much we can interact with over there. We might need an actual digging wand to get over to where I want to be. Huh. Looks like I can pick up molten gold. Ooh. Fireworks. Hold on. Huh. You know, I've never actually used that spell before. That is one of the secret spells in this game, which you can only get by finding those previously mentioned orbs of knowledge. So yes, you can just pick up your wand and go straight to the bottom floor, but if you break the rules of this game, you'll find there's a lot more going on underneath the hood. Actually, this guy we might want to leave alive. Water, pheromone, lava... Nah. I don't think we'll need to replace any of those potions. Another important thing about this game is, with it being a roguelite, it does have a lot of replay value. The level's going to change every time you die, so it's an entirely different experience. Doesn't look like there's any more wands lying around, unfortunately. Ah, there's one. And we might be able to get in there. Using said fireworks. If we let that fire burn, it'll get rid of all the coal there. Fireworks do destroy terrain, a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, you specifically bringing attention to that? Well, why don't we head back over west? I'll just blow up the first wall I find. Too thick. The first wall that I know there's something immediately on the other side of. Like this one. Ha! Look at all the adorable little sparkles. I guess it has kind of a randomly generated explosion at the end. Yeah, that one has the extra little flames coming off of it. And that one had blue sparks. I guess it's a magic missile with a bit of added RNG. And we have 42 more of them to go. These guys I absolutely hate, but we are well equipped against them. Now over here is where we find a lot of wands. So getting to this side of the map is definitely what I wanted to focus on. Although the enemies over here are tougher. There's another reason we want to be in this area, which I will demonstrate once we've cleared it out of most of the enemies. We do not want to get anywhere near that guy. His machine gun will shred us to pieces. Different types of fireworks indeed. What was this wand? Oh, well, could have been using this one for a long time. Easy. You know, we might just have to hold on to that wand for all the damage it can do for us. This is the single most important tool for us. A teleport wand is probably the single most important thing you can have in this game. One, gives you better movement, which can allow you to get out of dangerous situations a lot easier. Gives you faster movement, so you can, well, get from point A to point B a lot easier. But it also, with enough speed, allows you to fly and can let you get past some obstacles you're not supposed to get past. Oh boy. Well, we still can't hurt ourselves with any of our projectiles, so that's a bit less of a problem. We're doing almost 20 damage with every single one of those shots, which... that's why having that chainsaw on the end of that spark bulb is so important. Yeah, 16 damage every shot. That's incredible for this early in the game. Normally we only get about 5. That alone triples our damage without doing much to change the mana cost. Chainsaw itself only costs 1 mana. If you can put it at the end of a trigger, well, you're good to go. Take a look over here. Try to kill the rats. Go ahead and pour some water in here. Mix that with the toxic sludge, dilute it, and make it a bit safer in here. And now we get out of dodge because we have one of the larger tentacle boys coming at us. You know, if we find a spell that ends up dropping a lot of lava on, well, everything, not lava, fire, we can go ahead and use that pretty indiscriminately. Oh, would you look at that? More fireworks. There we go. Yeah, I hate these guys, the guys with the 3 eyes. When you hit them, they split off into tinier versions which are incredibly hard to hit. If you don't have a homing spell, that is. I do wish this game was streamed more. Out of any other VTubers, I've only seen Artemis of the Blue stream it. And from what little I've watched, she doesn't seem to know what she's doing. But she usually doesn't. Don't tell her I said that. She'll agree with me. Berserkium. Berserkium has a very interesting effect. We might go ahead and... No, we'll want the pheromone for that. I'll show you why we want the pheromone. Carrying the other little potions with us. That's a good kill. Go ahead and kick that out of the way. Shoot it a couple more times and it should dissipate. There we go. Get that out of the way. And it shouldn't block any more of our projectiles. We do not want to land in that purple liquid over there. The sparkly purple liquid is polymorphium, which, once we touch it, will turn into some random other creature. Oh. That might be better than the rock option. You know, honestly... no. Fireballs are slow. That is a non-shuffling wand, and we want to get rid of shuffler wands as much as we can. The important part of non-shuffler wands is they cast spells in the order you place them in. If it is a shuffle wand, then every time it refreshes, it just randomly reorganizes the spells. Only time that's ever good is, well, if you have about 15 copies of the same spell over and over again. then it doesn't make a difference, but you're not really capable of getting as much progress out of it. We're not using the tablet for kills anymore, so let's see if we can get in here. Ha! Can't even cast Fireball from this wand because it doesn't have enough mana. Let's see if we can... Oh! Good thing that didn't hit the potion. Berserkium is important because it doubles the damage you give, while also doubling the size of the explosions. So if we use a bit of that before launching some fireworks, then, well, it becomes the 4th of July. Or whatever Independence Day it is for our viewers. Although I don't think anyone is irresponsibly grandiose as an American on Independence Day. Oh, great. We stepped in the teleport juice. Although we are not far off from where we were before. Alright, so, another mechanic in this game, which we are going to ruin our excellent run this early, is... That wand is useless. For some reason, one of the hidden mechanics in this game is eating a lot of mushrooms changes the laws of physics? I will demonstrate right here by holding this flask full of lava and start tripping out on drugs. Whereas fireworks would be for New Year's, this would be more for a birthday. You hear the word snow echoing and shifting in colors. What that means is we have some sort of interaction that we don't know yet between snow and some other sort of substance. We have no immediate way to confirm if it has anything to do with lava. Fungal shifts sometimes, yeah, it is definitely a huge WTF. And it's one of the hidden mechanics in this game. Do enough drugs and the world becomes very different. That wand is not very good. Yeah, there we go. So the next level is a snow-focused level, and we will have a chance to see what has interacted with snow from there. That is called a fungal shift, which is actually why I had the stream titled like that. I was looking forward to doing that a lot. A fungal shift changes a certain kind of substance in the world to another. Noita is a game of many mysteries, absolutely. What's that sparkling down there? Slime? More slime. I'll need to get some more water. We can't immediately do that again. We do want to be able to get a digging tool so we can come back here and grab some more mushrooms in the future. Ah, there is a path in there. We just need to be careful of the teleport liquid there. Your mind is melting. This is an incredibly expansive and complex game. My brain often melts while playing it as well. Break that. Wish we could bottle some of that honey. Oh, what is it that combines with honey? I forget. Diamond! That's it. Remember, class, if you do enough drugs, the world will change, which is technically true if you're into solipsism. Although in this game, it actually changes mechanics as well. If, for example, we fungal shift lava into a harmless material, then all the lava in the world would be replaced by, say, water. Although that is not what triggered, because I'm still holding a lava potion. The fungal shifts are also adjusted by whatever flask you might be holding at the time. This is where things get dangerous. Very dangerous. But we have a lot of health to spare. toxic sludge. Oh, right, we can deal with that. What would I rate this game out of 10? So far between an 8 and a 9. I have a number of hang-ups with the unpredictability of this game. I'd have to take a bit more time to think on it, but definitely an 8 or an... I'm leaning more towards 9. I'll go ahead and just say it as a 9 so far. I've been hopelessly addicted to it, and it's incredibly expensive. It also has a Xander seal of approval for having an expansive modding scene. Any game that lets you customize it a bit better is something I definitely appreciate. In fact, part of the workload that I keep advertising but not following through on would be creating a Xander player model instead of our little hooded wizard here. And that's actually on the list of plans for sometime this week with the reduced stream volume. There, hold it to me. Expect to see Xander Noita next week, which will again be on Monday as always. And possibly even more days. I think we might be done getting useful things from this area, so we might be able to move on. No, no, no. One of the issues I have with this game is sort of integral to its design, unfortunately. And that is the fact that with such a randomly generated game with so many depths of mechanics, there's a lot of things you can't react to. You can have a wonderful run going and end up dying to effects that you couldn't have seen coming and couldn't have been able to react to. Why is that water dissipating? That's weird. This is 9. I'm talking about like this. What the hell is 10? Dead Cells, which is another game on this channel, and another game that I did hear people say they wanted to see. Dead Cells is very much in a similar vein as this game, but actually does away with a number of the hang-ups that I have with this game. For one, it's a bit more predictable and a lot more reactable. That is a game that measures your skill in combat, rather than RNG favoring you and letting you get some really overpowered spell combinations. This game, a lot of your success depends on RNG. In Dead Cells, your success depends on your skill and understanding of your game mechanics, as it is also a roguelike like this game, in the sense that you have one life. When you die, the entire game regenerates completely, and you get an entirely different map. That game, however, does have a lot of stabilization to its random generation. In certain biomes, you'll always find a certain number of upgrades and power-ups. The difference is where you find them. So you basically always know what to expect. You get a consistent set of boosts. You'll always find a certain number of level-ups in this area, a certain number of level-ups in another area. So it has all the positives of the random generation of this game, while dealing away with a lot of the negatives. Although, depending on who you are, the complete randomness of this game can be seen as a bonus. I did have a suggestion to leave Dead Cells on the list of games to be playing, but that was after I already made the schedule for this week. That was very late Sunday night. So I'll leave it on schedule for next week. Especially if you like this game, you might enjoy watching Dead Cells as well. Very similar, but much more action to be had. It's this game, but very, very, very fast. Although I might not have as much of an opportunity to talk while I'm streaming, given that it's a lot more faster and action-based, so in order to actually be good at it, I might have to focus. Dead Cells is I'd say still, I hold it as my absolute favorite game of all time. A game that measures your skill, mostly because of its roguelike nature meshing so well with the gameplay. Now you see this little hole here that we can't get into from the bottom or the top. Oh, we can. If that hole was blocked off, but it still had enough room, we could actually teleport through it. You can get into a number of places you're otherwise not supposed to with a teleport wand. This game is more expensive than Dead Cells though. This game has a lot more going on, and in the long run, I might end up playing this game for more hours overall. After I have a couple of reliable and functional runs, I might go ahead and try to see if I can mod this game to be a bit more consistent. Should make for a much more capable streaming experience. Now, I do believe 5 minutes have passed since our last fungal shift, which is your timer between being able to do them. So, it's time to do more drugs. We will hold this lava flask as we have the high hopes of transmuting lava into something that isn't lava. Lava is generally the most dangerous substance to come across, as well as being abundant in certain late areas of the game, which can really end a run. So, if we're lucky, we can transmute all the lava in the world into something benign like water. If we're unlucky, we can do the opposite, and then we'll all have a good laugh about it. Invisiblium. Apparently we have transformed something else into lava. We have transformed all magical potions into lava. That includes pheromone and invisiblium, as well as teleportation, so we have effectively screwed ourselves over. Well, not screwed ourselves over, but made things a lot more dangerous for us, and for enemies. There are a lot of enemies that bleed magical substances, and they'll be in trouble now. Put more time into Pokemon Shield than Breath of the Wild, and you don't know how that happened. You know, given that I do look like a Pokemon professor, I've been thinking about playing Pokemon games on this channel. Would probably actually be a great way to get more viewers, given how expansive and popular the highest grossing franchise of all time is. I used to do a lot of team building for competitive Pokemon, although me living out in the middle of nowhere in Texas during my younger days didn't have enough of a time to get good with it, so I didn't get to participate in as many tournaments as I liked. That's a timer, which is slightly different. That means that instead of on impact, that Spark Bolt will trigger another spell after it's traveled a certain distance, or existed for a certain amount of time. We'll pass on using that for now. We will also keep all of our flasks, even though now we're carrying an excess of lava with us. And in that case, we will come back and try to see if we can fungal shift lava again. How are we getting out of here? Actually, wait, we do have ways to dig through the terrain over here. Yeah, that's where we were before. We have an easy way out. I need to remember how often I'm carrying explosives with me. Normally, I focus on Luminous Drill, which, hopefully, we will be able to find soon. And Xander himself is going to reinvent the Death Ray. The ever so infamous Death Ray. Teleport over here and look at our selection of spells first. Circle of Water. Circle of Displacement. Glittering Field. Sadly, not a single one of those is useful to us. Revenge Explosion, no. Stronger Hearts, very yes, absolutely yes. Now in the future, when we find more hearts, they will give us 50 health instead of The, that will give us 50 health instead of the previous 25. Now, I want to use this healing bolt sometime soon, but we do not yet have a way to abuse it, so we'll have to wait on that one. Very large recharge time. Oh, whoops. You know, we have oil blood. Let's go ahead and apply the... Oh wait, that's fire arc, that's not fire trail. Go ahead and place those there, put that in number 1. Very high charge speed, very high recharge time. But low cast delay and low capacity. Hold on. We just discard all of these. Fireball is wonderful, but unless we have homing or a plus velocity modifier, we won't have too much use for it. That is not nearly as useful as we want it to be. As well, I think it's a short-range spell. Yeah, that's not nearly as useful as we want it to be. What's the speed comparison here? That's actually exceptional right there. This wand has an always casts freeze field effect, which is wonderful, but we don't have any spells to use it with yet. So we'll go ahead and, to save our game's processing power, go ahead and shove all those fireballs back on. Even though we won't be able to use them while they're on here. I think that's it. Wait, hold on. Now it's potentially even more powerful. We have applied a scatter effect to it here, which will cast multiple spells afterwards. So far that's still our fastest recycling wand, so we will leave it. And the fireworks can stay, we haven't used too many of them. We will leave this wand here since we are not going to be using it. Now, you thought we were out of uses for the teleport wand here. Well, right here, this little square here, if you walk over that, that causes the holy mountain to collapse, and that essentially locks you into the next area. But if you teleport past it, now, even though we're into the next area, we're not locked in here yet. At any point in time, we can come back up here, teleport back, and we will be able to edit our wands again. Normally, when you're outside of Holy Mountain, you're not able to edit your wands. So we have a bit more of a flexibility should we find any good spell components in the future. That is one of the safest ways to break the game. Another thing you can do is actually use one of the more powerful digging tools and dig a hole in the wall. But then you have to deal with Steve. Oh, and we are definitely going to deal with Steve later. You'll get to see Steve, don't worry. You're going to like Steve. Alright. Packed snow. We do have one fungal shift that's dealing with snow itself, but that doesn't happen unless snow melts into packed snow. Luckily, snow itself doesn't count as packed snow, so what we're wanting to see here is if we can melt a bit of that and see what it turns into. If it turns into anything. Go ahead and drop a little bit of lava here. Disappointing results, unfortunately. Now with the fungal shift, it does not always trigger what is in your flask. And when it triggers with your flask, the ingredient you have there can either be the from or the to substance. For our last fungal shift, we ended up getting something into lava when we were looking for lava into something else. So it really is a gamble. But it puts some excitement on a run. Oh, that is a very good wand. Hold on. Unfortunately, it's a shuffler, but... Oh, really? What if I put that there? Darn, a little disappointing. It has a faster cast delay and recharge time, but it looks like we aren't going to be able to abuse that. Go ahead and set all these back on there, but we will keep the spells to power modifier, which I think is super expensive. Yeah, we can only use that on our single shot wands, like this. Essence to power, that's what it is. I have high hopes for this run. So of course this is where the game gets much more difficult. And then in the next level it's even more difficult on top of that. We have a lot more machinery and hissy, which I think translates to goblin. We have a lot more intelligent enemies showing up at this point. And a lot of enemies that have bullets. That was a waste of some fireworks. That doesn't get us where we need to be. You see the blue light there? There's an enemy waiting for us. And so far, he has yet to notice. Ah, lovely. Guess he was looking for someone else. Always casts Matter Eater. Hello there. Hold on. We're gonna need this. What are the stats on that one? Shuffle, no. Decent stats all around. Look at that. Now let's play a little bit. We want to use something that has infinite ammo on this wand. As well, we also now have a triple cast that we can pull off of there, so we are going to put the chainsaw and our 2 spitter bolts on there. We might keep the missiles nearby, but I don't think we're going to be using them too much. You know what? Why not? Go ahead and put them on our fireworks wand since they have a very similar function. Did they do more damage, though? Comparable, but not replaceable. So we'll keep that as a supplementary high damage wand with some slight unpredictability. Get rid of this one. And that always casts Matter Eater means that that bullet eats through terrain. I will not. I refuse to immediately demonstrate the effects of that. Because then we have to deal with Steve. I wonder if fire arc on that other one that we dropped around here. Yeah, there we go. Might be able to put that on there and see what use we can draw from it. I will not test it in the Holy Mountain. Instead, sneak over here, get out there. Oh, well, at least we can't hurt ourselves with it. So now, looks like we have a wand capable of digging through terrain, although I think I'm gonna mess with its functions a little bit more. To make it better at digging but less capable at long range, I'm going to place the triple spell first. No, place the fire arc first. So, looking at the effects of this wand here, we have a fire arc, which the first effect creates a trail of fire between multiple spells being fired at once. Triple spell means it will draw the next 3 spells here and cast them. So the 2 spitter bolts and the spark bolt with trigger, which this one triggers the chainsaw that happens immediately afterward. Wait, hold on. I just got an even more horrible idea. And I'm going to test it right here. No. Darn, I was hoping that one would work. I will not test it in here. Okay, you did see that it ate a chunk out of the wall here. We do not want to do that, because then we'll deal with Steve. We are not currently powerful enough to face Steve. Or his boss. So, what we have now is a wand that shoots fire projectiles and can dig through terrain. Now, we can't dig through the Holy Mountain over there without angering Steve. But if we go to a different spot, we certainly can. What's also very useful is having multiple different effects in a single wand at once. We have both a damage and... well, excuse you. We have both a damage and a digging wand here simultaneously. Did we use the health yet? I hope we didn't. And we did. We now have to, on 3 health, find our way into the next area. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a coward. Go over here. We are sufficiently far away from the original part of the Holy Mountain. As long as it's not near the checkpoints, you actually don't have to worry about digging through the spots here. Right now, we would have already angered Steve if we were near the checkpoint. But what I'm going to do here, for the sake of having a functional run on this stream, is we are going to dig through these places we really shouldn't be. Find our way over here to the extremely dense rock, which is usually towards the limits of the biome. Now we'll start digging downward. We should end up on the caves on the other side here. Take a look, we still see frozen gas dripping from over there, which means that there's still enemies below. Yeah, you could see a magical spark there. Someone is trying to kill us. And we don't want that. Not when RNG screws us over to have 3 health. But it's Noita. That's exactly what I was talking about with my hangups for it. I could turn the streamer votes off, but if anyone shows up on Twitch, I'd love for them to participate. Over here might be safe. Yes, we are far enough. We now have mostly just cave to deal with. And so accordingly, we will cheat our way into the next area. Dark Marmot, welcome. If you would like, feel free to harass me with as many votes as you can come up with. We will walk left. We are now at the edge of the snowy biome level we were at, so now we will start digging downwards. Time to play Minecraft. This is a Minecraft channel now. We will stick close to the wall but not go onto the other side of it. What we want is to find the next checkpoint. We'll grab some help there, and then we'll do a little bit more exploring. We also will dig in sort of a sine wave pattern to make sure we have spots to stand on our way back up. We have the brickwork here, which means we have reached the bottom of the snowy depths here. We want to be careful where we dig. Up here on top should be safe. Should be. Now, who wants to watch Xander die? As, in all my hubris, I attempt to investigate what's on this wand. I'll take it regardless. And we are safe. Someone's having a party downstairs. I will teleport over here just in case, and there is nothing we are looking for over there. There, we're healthy again. Take a look at these wands, see if there's any useful effects we will want. We will come back for that ping pong effect later. That is a yes, shuffle wand, good stats, no spells we want, except maybe this one. For now, no. We'll go ahead and drop this here. Nothing else we want to change on the rest of our wands, because we have a wonderful setup so far. Let's see, contact damage. Enemies near you take damage. Damage is higher the lower your health gets. Maybe. What's this? Feared by worms. Worms run away from you. Worm and looky enemies no longer destroy terrain while burrowing. Also less important, worms aren't too much of an issue. Extra item in Holy Mountain will be important for us because it gives us a larger selection of wands and spells to choose from. You know what? Let's go ahead and re-roll that. Reroll it again. Oh, this is the single best perk in the game. Whenever you pick a perk, there's a 50% chance that the others won't disappear. Which we triggered. Fire immunity we do not need, as we already have Oil Blood. Personal Plasma Beam has a chance to backfire on us, so when we have more gold, we'll come back later and see if we can re-roll for some better perks. What we'd like here is a teleport. And we are good to go. Now, remember that fungal shift with the lava? Looks like it was snow into lava, which is why there's so much lava here in a place that should normally be full of snow. Noita is more like Terraria than Minecraft. It absolutely is. This is really just Terraria with more rogue and more pixels. And again, isn't Terraria technically roguelite? In a sense. Although your world doesn't vanish when you die. Now, the reason why that Matter Eater one is so important. Yes, you can see we're digging. The reason why is because we have an always casts Matter Eater effect on this wand. Normally, that spell is in a limited supply, but here, we can use it as much as we like. Seems it also eats through the gold nuggets that enemies drop. That's gonna be a problem. There's some molten metal right there. We might not have much room to explore on this area. Add mana. That is one of the most important spell effects for us to get. And in fact, we're even going to backtrack so we can put that in our inventory. Swoops up here. Get stuck in the lava, hurt ourselves. We are going to be more responsible in the future. I promise. He said, teleporting again. Get over here. It's not really hampering us, but let's go ahead and put it on here anyway. Actually, we might be able to cast the whole thing now. It even has Steve. It's Minecraft. Yeah. There's Steve, a skeleton trying to kill me, and so on and so forth. Spark Bolt with double trigger is better. We will keep that quadruple spell, and then we will discard this wand. And I will not test it while we're in here. Now let's see what magic we can do. Looks like it fires one long bolt instead of splitting them up. Most of those bullets stay together. Although that essence to power is incredibly costly. Yeah, we won't be able to keep firing that too much. I think I will go ahead and take it off. We'll leave that on another wand later. Yeah, everything's good to go there. Well, aren't you a trouble to deal with in an open space? Avoid the lava because, for some reason, being immune to fire does not mean you are immune to lava, even though it lets you stand in molten metal just fine. Watch this. See? No damage. Come back here, I'm not done with you. Yep, Matter Eater also destroys the gold of the gold that is dropped by enemies, so we will have to be very, very careful. Especially with all the lava around here from our fungal shift nonsense. This is a better wand than our teleport wand, at least for the moment. Acid Trail and Blood Cloud. Along with also being a wonderful wand, but we will not do anything with it just yet. Now, fire immunity is working wonders for us. Looks like just about everything already died. Most of the snow in here transformed into lava due to our irresponsibilities, so this biome remains mostly empty. Yeah, everyone just got melted by lava. It was just the Terminator in here a moment ago. Before we showed up. That would actually be why there were so many explosions when we first arrived. It generated the level and dropped everyone into lava, including all the explosives. Our health pickups are doubled, so now we have 254 health, which is, heck, even good enough for late game. Fantastic. Like there needed to be more lava around here. Of course, if I didn't pick it up, it could have been lost. Could have been something wonderful. But nope, it was a lava potion. That could have completely ended our run there. Molten metal everywhere. Yeah, it really is the Terminator. We might even have to dig into the Holy Mountain, because a lot of these things you see are draining lava even further down in the map, which we are not helping by blowing up even more of the terrain. Seems like the case we have here is a very long and dangerous trek downwards. We are not going through there just yet because all the lava is draining. Enemy up there. And with the electric explosions, that might have actually been someone with a wand. Or just more of these goons, who float and don't have to worry about lava, therefore. You know what? I'll just use the missiles on these guys. And miss. Oh, that doesn't do much more damage. One more shot should do it. Okay, 2 more shots should do it. Wow. I started pouring the toxic sludge in here. Alright, we'll navigate our way around the sides then. Gee. There's no good way through here. That's why fungal shifting is irresponsible, and that's exactly why we fungal shift. Because now look at how much fun we're having. Trying to find our way through screaming metal death trap full of lava. Well, I think we can make it. Do you think we can make it into that portal? I don't think there's anything else for us to discover just yet. Maybe once we're more powerful, we can come back and look for more spell components. Go ahead and swim through here. Doing just fine. Let's take a moment, see if we can discover anything else up here. You know what? Never mind. I'm not even seeing any glowing wands on the side of our screen, so might not be much of any around here. Take note, next time we're back there, we run the risk of hurting ourselves with the lava from those portals. Again, no particularly important spells. This is why am I able to fungal shift lava again. We will have to make our way back up to the fungal caverns, but yes, this is usually why I skip the hard set first, because we can pick up vampirism. Ah, we get more sections. More hatred. Creatures become more aggressive towards each other. Someone's getting... We cannot use that one yet, so we'll go ahead and pick this one. Wow. You know, actually... which one was this? I can't even remember which of these potions was which. We'll gently set this one down here. Once we get to the bottom, we'll drop one of these bad boys. We might want to go ahead and pick up one of the wands here that have light. I think this one might be a bit better. Oh, but first off, this one has entirely better stats than our teleport wand. We also do not need the bombs anymore, given that we are running around with Matter Eater now, so those will be thrown to the wayside here. Get rid of this wand. Put that back on too. This is our teleport wand now. And we'll pick the cheaper of the two wands so that we can steal that light modifier. And we'll go ahead and get the quadruple scatter spell, but we do want to keep our inventory mostly free, or if we ever come back. We'll also be finding a lot of potentially powerful and wonderful spells here in the future. We also don't have a way to exploit that healing bolt yet. I'm going to drink some of this. The blood will slowly restore our health. Heck, while I'm at it. We are actually at the jungle now, which does have another fungal cavern in it. This is the only other place that you can find a fungal cavern. Unless there's other parts of the map we haven't yet explored. On the main route, at least, this is the only other place we can find fungus, so we're gonna give it another shot. And probably destroy ourselves in the process. But we will be giving it a big shot! Nope, get out of there. We currently do not do enough damage to get through this guy's shield. He's going to be a problem. Well, we can, but slowly. That guy teleports other enemies towards us. So, as long as there's other enemies nearby, he's going to be a problem. We'll wait for him to get up here. Indeed, the biggest of shots. He has a poison gun, which we want to avoid best as possible. Do we have any other? No, we don't. The fire trail probably isn't helping us that much, honestly. we are not doing nearly the damage we want at this stage in the game. Luckily though, this is one of the most wand-dense biomes in the entire game. Hey spider. Bye spider. Oh, he dropped all his gold up there. See if we can grab it before it disappears. Hey, there we go. I thought I killed you. We didn't just anger Steve, did we? Well, I suppose we can pick up the heart now. I wanted to try to save it for later, preferably after we found some blood that could probably restore our health in the meantime. But we will need this. One of the most important skills in a roguelike is risk management. You need to be able to assess how much trouble you're in. Okay. Alright. Guess I'll doom everyone below me. I wonder if there's any way to dilute that poison. Now everything will be comfortably on fire. Warm, just how I like it. That gold's going everywhere. Our first priority right now is finding a better wand, or at least a couple of good components we can take from it. That stuff is very flammable. Teleport out of there because we have another coward. That's actually the enemy's name. Teleporting more people to us. We will be avoiding combat until we have something to better fight people with. Ah, we're already at the next fungal caverns over here. There we go, good shot. That is not showing a treasure chest indicator next to my inventory, which means that is a mimic. Didn't drop anything when it died. That was a mimic. Shame that our matter eater eats through all this gold. This features a number of better spells and some slightly better effects. You know, in retrospect, we don't even need the multicast here. That thing already casts 4 spells at once, so let's go ahead and head back up here. Oh, we are out of levitation. And eat. Now, how can we play with this one? It's roughly comparable to the one we already have. Does not fire much faster at all, but we honestly don't even care about the fire arc there, I'm gonna be frank. And don't call me Frank. Now I'd like to see what stacking up all these triggers does. We might end up with a wand that can only be cast like every 2 minutes if we keep it up like that though. And test. Good damage. But slightly disappointing results. Actually, that might be a single shot very powerful weapon. The issue here though is that it does disappear the instant it hits the terrain, so we might want something else that can abuse that matter eater a little bit better. which would be one of these spitter bolts. Honestly, put those there, put this here, and we should be good to go. With fewer trigger spells, we can actually make that a very functional shotgun wand if we you know what? I changed my mind. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you'll apply the multicast here. Take the chainsaw because that is incredibly useful, as well as the double spark bolt with trigger. Get rid of this. We do not care about this. We might not even care about Sea of Acid anymore. Don't care about this. We might come back for this. Definitely don't care about this. Actually, wait, we do. Because it does have a chance. If an enemy is on fire, they actually are a lot less likely to attack you. Looks like we might not be able to fire it if we apply any more effects, so... I've got an idea. If what I know about wand crafting is correct, the chainsaw has a very interesting side effect of reducing the delay of a casting block if it's at the end. So... Nope, that's not any better for us. That is. We will chase after all this, and then immediately run back up. Alright, no chainsaw there. Instead, we will have the concentrated light. And we will keep it as a single very powerful bullet. We have plenty of inventory space. Let's rock. Now what we want is to see if we can find... Well, one, better spells because this is not our optimal wand, but we also would like to see... If I can hit that thing. If we can find another potion flask. That way we will be able to bottle up some blood for later, which the vampire will need. Ah, it's no longer a functional digging wand. How can we deal with that? Or it's no longer nearly as swift. We might not need very swift digging, honestly. What would be very useful for us would be any bullets that bounce off of walls. Like those pink bolts. Right now we sort of have an impromptu sniper rifle. And if it does light an enemy on fire, they're less inclined to attack us because burning enemies are more concerned with the fact that they are currently burning. Quick, do drugs. Ah, nope, no more drugs. Not yet. I think now we're safe. Resume drugs. Get poisoned for some reason. We do not have enough mushrooms over here. Before it gets too strong. I'm out of here. And hopefully... Lava has now been replaced with vomit. All of the vomit in the world is, or all of the lava in the world, is now vomit. Which, while unsanitary, is certainly safer for us. That might have affected our potions back here. Nope, those are still lava because they've been transmuted into lava. So, good news, we don't need the lava bottle anymore. Yep, that used to be lava. Now, we can use this to go and try and see if we can pick up some blood, which allows us some health restoration. A little bit. Now, there are ways to get more blood out of your enemies, which, once we figure that one out, we will have a reliable source of health restoration on our hands. A little bit full on that potion, not enough. Yeah, not so tough now that I can actually hit you. Yeah, we can get it through his barrier. And there's two of them. Do they teleport each other to? They do. So these enemies are called cowards because... I will ignore the cheese. These enemies are called cowards because they do not fight you themselves. Instead, they hide behind a shield and send other enemies to fight you. They teleport other nearby enemies to your position. So, I think you know what we need to do now that the world is made of cheese. Scrumptious. And also does nothing for us. Alright, one mission accomplished. Lava is no longer nearly as much of a risk to us. Really, we should be able to do way more damage than this. We might have to look for different wand components, especially if we can find something that lets us rapid fire. That would actually be incredibly useful. Here's another wand. We can break our way in here for free. And speaking of reloading, now we're getting somewhere. This is why having a teleport wand is so important, because you can keep coming back up here and tweaking wands while you're still in the level. Now, this reduces recharge time, and it lets you refresh your wand quicker, of course. Now, concentrated light costs a lot of mana. We don't have a lot of mana. Instead, see about grabbing some of our other spell components off of here. Assuming all goes as it should, which I will, again, not test inside of the Holy Mountain itself. We do have a significantly faster firing wand now. You'll also see it's a lot better for digging. This will let us carve some better tunnels around here and there, and try to procure us some better spell components, because this can get even better for us. If we find the right spell combination, we can actually make it an incredibly powerful wand that destroys terrain and all enemies that intersect with it. But the most important part right now is that faster fire rate. So much cheese. If only we could put that in a flask. We could actually fungal shift cheese. Now that's something I'd like to see. Turning all of the lava in the world into cheese. Wow, you have a lot of health. We also might want to try to see about getting a better damage wand with a much faster firing rate and using that for damage instead. And then refocusing this one to use as specifically only a digging wand. Although being able to multi-purpose both digging and damage would be the optimal combination. Let's give this place a little bit more exploration. I think soon after we get into the next area, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I'd like to try to keep it to roughly 2-hour streams, looking forward. For a little bit, at least until I actually start working on the mythically rumored other streaming assets. There we go. Really? That didn't teleport me. That guy is a healer. We don't have to worry about him. In fact, we actually have a chance to exploit him in the future. Oh boy. This is where we die. I will try my best to navigate. I think we're safe over here. Oh boy. We are not safe. You all have so much health. We actually just might want an escape right now. I think there's an enemy in there. Oh yeah, a lance sentry, which we really, really want to avoid, because those guys are scary. Another wand. We will investigate that. Jumia Spampton. I would very much like to see that on Twitter, actually. This is an excellent wand for us to mess with. Get away from Lance Sentry. We cannot even damage him right now. Damage plus. We will swap out this wand. Get our way through here. I'm surprised I already have so much fan art, even though it's technically only 2 entries. Thank you, though. I absolutely love any contributions from the fans. Now, let's think about this. Make that recharge faster, and we do have the mana reduction. Let's see what this does. Oh yeah. That's what I like to see. We will remove the fire arc and instead replace it with damage plus and add another... Wait, hold on. This one would actually just be better for an attacking wand. So, let's instead just put magical arrows on here. Let's have some fun. 2, 3, 4. We'll go ahead and... Could have sworn... Oh wait, it was on here. I'll go ahead and say put those two on there, put this magical arrow on there. 4 spells per cast, take this off, take this off, take this off. Now, with the expanded capacity of this wand, and the extra effects we can put on it, including that plus damage, very spicy. Two spells per cast. You don't have Twitter. How can you show this to me? You know what? I'll see if I can... Do you have a Discord? I'll go ahead and... Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop it and see if I can rummage up my Discord real quick. I mean, after all, that's not going to be showing up on the stream, so let's do that. There we go. I lied. A little bit more time rummaging around, and I found that. Would you mind if I posted it on Twitter? Myself. I will, of course, label it as fan art from a viewer. But I would like to show off the contributions of my students, if you don't mind, with your permission. And turn that back on. We will design ourselves some better wands and then be ready for next stream. That looks good to me. Alright. I will let you know how it goes, and I will post that in the stream next time I see you. Now this can be very, very dangerous. So let's get our way up here. Ah, wow, that recharges very slowly. Cast delay recharge time. Ah, it's the explosive projectile. Let's take that off since this is purely a damaging wand. Should be able to fire much faster now. That is an entire 2/3 of a second. 2 spells per cast. What else can we put on here? Well, another spitter bolt, I imagine. Think that will work. That will also reduce the amount of mana we use. And assuming everything goes right, I have not yet worked the calculations here. Now, hopefully I don't destroy myself. That is a very functional damage wand right there. I love it. We can make it even faster if we removed some of these. I wonder, if we removed the damage plus, do we actually end up with something that has higher damage overall, or higher damage per second? Because that does make it take longer to cast. There we go. That is a very healthy damaging wand there. We also have plenty of digging through this wand here. Alright! We've had a wonderful stream, so let's start winding it down and get our way into the next area. Then we'll call it for the night. Oh boy. No, you still have not messed with any of my wands. Late Prophet. Well, I don't keep too much of a schedule for my students. It's been going very well. We actually just got, well, for one, we've died, I think, twice so far, but we have just procured ourselves a wonderful damage wand. Now, we might not be able to damage this guy. So, I will... Ah, we can. It's the explosive damage he's immune to. We have an excellent set of perks so far. We have Stronger Hearts, Oil Blood, Vampirism, and Perk Lottery. So we are off to an incredible start. Also, we got the Summon the Giant Laser, but I don't think we'll be using that one just yet. I might throw it down once we get to the bottom so we can just have an easy tunnel on the way back up. I'd rather conquer the tower once we have as much safety as we can. We have had wonderful luck so far on this run. On the previous stream, I believe, we had a very quick and early death otherwise. Oh yeah, that's some damage right there. The right combination. We started out tonight on a wonderful run. What killed us? Oh, right. We were surrounded by Hissy, and then one of the explosive damage happened to hit a propane tank right next to me, so I was caught in collateral explosive damage. This wand also has an always casts weakness to explosions, so we get a couple of explosive bullets, of which the spark bolt with double trigger is one. We can actually put even more damage out. I'd like to investigate for a few wands first. Useless. We are not tackling the dragon cave just yet. I love Spamton too. He's absolutely my favorite character from there. Hit that guy before he hits us. Get over here. Come on. I'm looking for you. I'm looking at you. Gotta be careful here. We have a lot of enemies standing around this corner. I need that gold. Ah, we got some of it. Now, the wonderful news here is we have a lot of Hissy, which means a lot of blood. Even if we don't use it now, we can come back here for this later. Go ahead and pour some of this out until it's only blood left. Yeah, we got a lot of peat in there. We don't want that. And now we have a blood potion to sate our vampirism later. In fact, we might even go ahead and drink that now. Oh yeah, we're drinking it now. We're skipping using the heart just yet. Now, a full potion of blood will usually get you, I think, about 40 health. Looks like we're doing great so far. Is that... There's not something that bleeds at the bottom there. And drinking from a potion is actually slightly better than drinking it off the ground. But in the case of these pools that are too thin for us to pull from, we'll have to do just that. Oh, right. No, we can be smarter about this. Let's drain everything down here. Different liquids in this game have different densities, and so some of them will actually sink to the bottom of a pool. If we pool everything together into one concentrated puddle, it'll be a lot easier to put it into our bottle. Which is why we are digging this out right now. What's my max HP? It should be 200. 252 right now. Luckily, this did not happen while we were in the middle of combat. Oh, what is incredible, Broham, and you're gonna love this. I think you actually showed up after we found this. Our wand here is 4 spells per cast, and always casts Matter Eater. So we have what could, with potentially the right combination of spells in the future, be both a damage and a digging wand. Right now, we've decided to just make it a digging wand since we can get slightly more damage out of our wand number 1 here with this setup. That is the best luck. Well, no, technically the best luck would be an always casts black hole wand. Now we have all this draining over here, but that's not all of it, is it? Yeah, we got some draining down here and some of it into the pools here. That's a lot of worm blood. We might worry about some of the other intricacies of all this blood later. For now, I'm just going to bottle up some of it. Go for a chug. And this will mean we do not need to use the health upgrade in the next level immediately. There, we are almost at full health, so we can save that heart in the next level for once we've equipped a little bit more HP, or whenever we are in more of an emergency. Say if we end up with very low amounts of health. Take a look in here. We also found a teleport wand on just the 2nd level, so we haven't even had to worry about teleport. What the heck is this? Oh, Mega Saw Blade. Right, that was the broken spell. We actually did that a couple of streams ago. We are not using that. That is way too dangerous. Homing is something we want. And honestly, so is the Explosion of Thunder. Hold on. We have a lot of good spell effects here. We also don't have to worry about the fire. Extra wand capacity? No. Wait, maybe. The wands you're currently holding gain additional spell slots. We might come back for that later. We're not getting very many trick accidents. I think we'll pick a perk after we have a much better selection of wands later. Because there are better wands we can find and pick up here. But we might even actually want to take that because of our Matter Eater wand and the weakness to explosives. But beware, are you talking about Steve? Steve isn't anywhere nearby. We don't have to worry about Steve. Does this... Hold on. Explosion of Thunder is a bit too dangerous for us right now. How much does homing cast even anyway? Oh, we could take the risk. Oh, we could make it work. Do we want to have a showdown with Steve right here and now? Because he's saying Giga Saw Blade. It's awesome power. Yeah, I'm not going to do that until I have projectile repulsion field or more ways to get it to not follow me around. What's your opinion, class? If we dig these spells actually out of this area, we can buy all of these spells for free. As long as they're not in the Holy Mountain, you can just pick them up. That would require us to dig through the terrain, though, which would summon a very, very angry Steve. What do you say? Play it safe or play it Steve? I don't think I've talked this much on any of the streams in the past. Maybe on the Psychonauts ones, but this one's definitely been dense with dialogue. All right, we have hyped Steve up. Let's now see what he's all about. Is there a way we can make that a bit faster? Set those all at the end. Wait, no. This is a case where patience might not be rewarded because we want to dig out as quickly as possible. Pick those up, head back in here. And see if we can do this. Oh, wait, we don't even have to fight him immediately, but... Hi, Steve. Okay, yeah, you're right. Steve had absolutely nothing on us. So, we killed him so fast that we overloaded all the sound, and now our sound is glitched. Excellent. And from here on out, we can actually purchase any of these other ones. Teleporting Circle or Explosive Bounce, which we might. Downwards Bolt Bundle is also very useful. Another thing is, now we're free to dig back through all the other holy mountains, I imagine. Although I guess Steve retroactively spawns in all of those. Yeah. Well, if anything, that is the game engine itself telling us that it is a good time to put this to rest. We've had... Well, this is probably our third absolutely wonderful, successful stream so far. So, I currently don't have plans for any more streams until Friday. I might try to fit something in here. Xander, you murdered Steve. He had a wife and family. I'll murder them too if they try to get in the way of my digging. I'm supposed to be a wholesome streamer. Is that really the thing I should be saying? They're all dead. They're skeletons. One of our viewers here, actually, Leviathan, I'm going to promote her for a moment. She's always lurking, but she seldomly speaks up. She actually is having her debut on Wednesday. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and plug her a little bit. She is one of my absolute best friends, and her debut is soon. I'm just going to go ahead and post her Twitter link in here. Where is that link? Should be here somewhere. There it is. Copy that link, and I will post it right here. Oh, I'm sorry, Leviathan. I didn't know you even still here in the chat. Do you want me to not promote you? You're so wonderful. I had to do show and tell, right? Oh, fan art is done. Hold on. Let's take a look at that. Accept that friend request. Yeah, tell me, Leviathan, if you want me to yes or no on the promotion. Appreciate it a lot. Just more the totally calling you were here. Well, you've said it yourself. You're often here but not speaking up. Alright, that is actually going to be the first stream on Wednesday for one of our viewers here. I might be doing collaborations with her in the future. Other than that, I do want to get to Noita again soon, so... I've got too busy of a week. It'll have to be next week, on next Monday, that we get back to Noita. Other than that, we have Friday for a bit more Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and then Saturday, we're resuming our suffering through Drunk Halo. I still absolutely love I absolutely love I absolutely love Noita than most anything else on this channel. Oh, this is wonderful, Ilya. I love it. Hold on. I'm gonna tweet this right now. I gotta throw that. I love it. I love it. So sinister. Ah, got the glowing glasses too. That is the most important part. Save that image. Again, just asking a second time. You don't. No, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. You don't mind if I put this on Twitter? I love it. Definitely send me some information on any of your animation work, though. I'd love to see it. All right, I'll go ahead and post it. I'm sorry. I'm going to explicitly ask this as my last question, just so there's no ambiguity between yes or no. Do I have permission to post it? Sorry, I started talking, so I didn't even know if the rest of the dialogue escaped. All right, there we go. Let me put this up real quick, and then I'll just post it in the chat so everyone can see it. Wrong image. Once I get a few bits more fan art, I might just do a fan art reel for the intro card, honestly. Although 2 is hardly enough to go on. There we go, that's a good description. Professor has finally become a big shot. Deltarune Chapter 2, throw on all the extra tags that I can. VTuber, VTuber, VTuber EN, because there's apparently multiple English VTuber tags. To post it in their stead. There we go. Because I know the hordes will be after me if they see me posting fan art without clarifying that I have permission for it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that warms my heart. And grab that link and post it here in the chat. Did it in 10 minutes. That's impressive for 10 minutes. I actually love it. Good night, Z. I didn't have a chance to immediately respond to that as I was making my posts. Thank you so much for your attendance, everyone here. Kayla, Broham, Ilya, thank you so much for the fan art. Leviathan, Z, anyone else who might be here. Strong, if he's still here. And anyone who might be watching on Twitch right now. Alright, I will see any and or all of you on Friday night, in which we'll be doing a bit more Nicktoon Smash. I will try to spend the interim time period, well, labbing the fighting games that I'd rather be playing on this channel. Well, aside from Noita. I always want to be playing Noita. With a bit more time being spent off of stream, I'll also be getting things ready for our Rivals of Aether character development streams, which once I have a couple of good sprites, James, I can't forget James because thank you. I can't forget James, but I don't see his name on the chat reel for the last few posts. After a certain number of people, I start forgetting. Yes, James is always welcome. But we will be having development streams for our Rivals of Aether character once I have enough sprites to get through it, but I will have to spend some time getting the walk and movement and defensive animations out before we start working too much on the attacks and some of the other mechanics. So, expect a few more weekend streams. Yes, hi James. Sorry I forgot you out of the very important list. Well, even if we're not playing Rivals on those days, we will be working on a development. I will see you all soon. Class is dismissed. This is my cutoff prevention. I should stream Noita more, just like, this should be a Noita channel. Only a Noita channel, forget the fighting games. We'll only do Noita. I'm lying. But this has been one of the best streams in a while. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, I know my mic's not muted. I'm just making sure there's plenty of time for everyone to say their goodbyes before we depart. You have a nice day too, Ilya. No, Broham, it will not be Noida only, because I still need to absolutely vaporize you on stream with Strive, again and again, until you learn. With me as your professor, I expect you to improve. Yeah, everyone's formally dismissed. Go ahead. Scatter, you little scamps, that's our lecture. I don't see that viewer count declining yet. My personality can't be that magnetic, can it? Of course it is. I'm a big shot. Alright, good night, everyone. Or a good morning or a good afternoon to our foreign viewers. Yeah, I'm gonna quit talking, Kayla. Of course.